All right, welcome everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of October, 2023, and this is the Cluster API project meeting. Cluster API is a sub-project of Kubernetes SIGs, and as such, we follow their meeting guidelines, which basically means please treat everyone as you would expect to be treated, and explicitly so, please be kind to each other. And also, please raise your hand if you'd like to talk, and I will call on you. At the beginning of our meetings, we like to give some time for new attendees or new community members to introduce themselves. So I will be quiet for 10 or 20 seconds. And if you would like to introduce yourself, please raise your hand and I'll call on you. All right, I'm not seeing any hands go up, so let's move on to open proposal readout. I don't remember where we ended up last time. Was there anything to update from this one on the load balancer proposal? I don't know if we have Joel or Nadir or anyone here.
Nothing this week.
Okay, thanks, Nolan. And anything about the managed external etcd provider? Jack, please.
It's not about that, so I'll let someone answer to that.
Okay. Did anyone have an update on the managed external etcd provider? All right, I'm not seeing any hands go up. So Jack, please feel free.
Yeah, I will do some housekeeping async while this meeting happens. I noticed that the managed Kubernetes cape is not here, so that has been thawed from Carbonite. So we've left Java's Palace and we're back on track. Shout out to Fabrizio and Vince for doing a lot of the sort of iterative design work to get that back into a reviewable state. So I'll paste a new bullet point in there under open, I think under open documents, shouldn't go under stale proposals. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Jack. And I love the Star Wars reference. Okay, let's get into our discussion topics for today. Fabrizio, you've got the first one about contributor summit talks, please.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everyone. So I'm happy to report that this year at the Contributor Summit, there will be not one, but two CAPI talks. One is about running cluster PI with CIS conformance, which is interesting and is an interesting topic. I don't know. I will attend the topic because I'm curious. And the other one is a usual status update that we are giving at each KubeCon. My idea this year is to have a discussion about the next version of cluster APIs, what we consider in scope and stuff like that. But if you have an idea for the status update, please feel free to reach out. And then I have also the second point, which is lightly related. So in the main conference at KubeCon, they created a space which is this year is called the Meet and Greet Contributor. In previous conference was called SIG Meet and Greet, which is basically they give a room. In this room, there are many tables, one for each SIG. And people is free to come in, talk with the contributor, ask about how to contribute to Kubernetes, etc., etc. This is usually nice, both for the discussion with the contributor, both because it is an opportunity for many Kubernetes contributors of the same SIG or of different SIG to be in the same room. And so if you are interested, please sign up like Mike is doing. It is a great opportunity, usually fun.
Yeah, I will step out of order here just to second what Fabrizio is saying. It is a great opportunity if you're going to be there on Thursday at KubeCon. It's a really cool place to meet people and just talk to new members of the community too, and kind of introduce them to the SIG structure. So thanks for bringing that up, Fabrizio. That's really cool. Okay, any questions or comments about either of the topics that Fabrizio brought up? Contributor Summit or the meet and greet? Okay, I'm not seeing any hands go up, so I will move on to my topic. This is just a PSA about the Carpenter feature group that we're working on. We had a great number of comments in here. I saw some of the Carpenter devs and some of the Autoscaler devs have also been chiming in to be part of this. So I think we've got a good group forming up here. I'm going to spend some time over the next week putting together a PR for the actual feature group proposal, and we'll try and lock down a meeting time at that point. So yeah, hopefully next week I'll have a PR to announce here, and we can just kind of agree on where to go next with this. So that's it. Any questions or comments about that one? Thanks, Jake and Fabrizio. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next topic then. Richard Vanderpool, please.
Hey, everybody. I've been working with PR to get the IPAM types promoted to V1 Beta 1. Got an LGTM on that this morning, but before I dropped the hold, I wanted to make sure if there was anyone else that needed to weigh in on that PR before I dropped the hold. Just kind of just see if anyone has any other. Make sure I'm following the right process for this API approval. That's all.
Great, thanks, Richard. Does anybody have questions or comments about this PR that Richard's got up here? Or is there any extra process that he needs to follow before releasing the hold on it? Yeah, Cillian, please.
Killian, just the this doesn't have an approve on it as far as I know, so you can remove the hold. It's not going to merge. It just is an LGTM. I just put the hold on it just in case somebody approved it too quickly, but I think it's been through a couple of meetings at this point. So if another maintainer wants to approve it, I think it's well timed now, and particularly wanted Jacob, who did the initial implementation, to review it, and he has given an LGTM, so that's good.
Cool, thanks, Killian. I do appreciate it.
Cool, and I'm seeing Vince in chat is saying he'll take a final look in a bit as well. And apologies for the naming malfunction there, Killian. C's are difficult sometimes. All right, next topic, Willie, possibility of backporting machine pool workers supporting cluster class. Please take it away. I see you unmuted, Willie, but I am not hearing any audio from you.
How about now?
Perfect, great.
Okay, sorry, super sorry about that. Also, my cat was in front of my camera, so that was what that was. Okay, so yeah, recently I finished implementing machine pool worker support in cluster class, and I've also implemented it on the CAPZ side and got it fully working. So I was wondering if there was any possibility of backporting this feature, since it is there's like a backporting policy that I linked, which states that enhancements or additions to like experimental CAPI features are could be allowed on a case-by-case basis. And since the cluster class is still experimental, and this is a feature that many people are like waiting and asking for in CAPZ, I just wanted to see if there was any possibility that we could backport this to a patch release. There is one thing where it says that we need to touch, we can't touch any non-experimental code paths. We do like add a few types into the main API, so that could be an issue. But yeah, that's Killian.
Yeah, so I think on backporting this one, the issues are less around the policy. So I haven't done a close reading of the policy compared to the code. It's more on capacity. This is a huge amount of code. As far as I know as well, particularly the testing issues aren't all completed on main yet. So I think it would need to be in a very good state on main before considering backporting it, including unit tests and the end-to-end testing story. I know that's partially completed. I'm not sure if some of them can be taken as follow-ups for later. But I think because of the way this is implemented, because of how many files it touches and how many places it changes behavior, it's going to be very difficult to backport. And it's going to be very, very difficult to review. So I'm a -1 on backporting this based on the capacity we have for reviews and stuff. I just don't think it would be between the testing additions on the main branch and backporting everything to the 1.5 branch. I don't think it would be finished or be likely to be finished, let's say, at this side of the 1.6 release, which I believe we're about 6 weeks away from. So that's my take on it. But again, that's not based on the policy, which I think would need a close reading of what's touched in the code and what the policy is. But yeah, just on capacity, I see it being very difficult to get this across the line.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah, I think we can maybe just hold off on it then. I'm still working on some of the end-to-end tests, so most of the main ones are done, but I'm still gonna it's still like in progress, and yeah, probably also waiting for Stefan's opinion because possibility of it a while ago. Yeah, sorry, Cecile.
Oh no, you're good. I was gonna also highlight what Fabrizio said in chat. I think Stefan and I had discussed backporting it at the very beginning, when the PR, because the PR merged right after the release 1.5 was cut. And so at that time, I think most of the release 1.5 cycle was spent adding tests and not merging the PR itself or the feature itself. But yeah, I completely agree with Killian. This might be a challenge. I think I wonder if it might be worth though, like trying to see what a backport would look like if Willie had the bandwidth to kind of just do like a attempt at a backport PR to see like how big of a diff it is. And then if it's just like, really hard to backport, it's running into tons of conflicts, etc., then I agree it's not really worth spending weeks on it if we're going to be releasing next month anyways.
Yeah, sure. I'll try to do. I'll try out backporting, see how it goes. Cecile.
Oh yeah, thanks. And also just to add to like the context of Willie's ask, I think the main reason for asking for a backport at this point is just that, like he mentioned, the managed cluster class implementation in CabZ is done. That PR is ready to go. And that relies on machine pool cluster class, because managed clusters only work with machine pool. And so, and essentially we have a PR right now in CabZ that could be merged, but it's blocked because it's using a nightly build of Cappy, and we can't merge nightly builds of Cappy into the main branch. So essentially, if we wait until the next Cappy minor release, then that means that PR has to wait until not only that, but until the minor release of Cappy gets integrated into CabZ. So it might be a while. So this is essentially like slowing down our testing of managed clusters with cluster class, just to add a bit of background on the impact.
All right, good discussion there. Are there any more thoughts on this? I see Fabrizio saying in chat that it could help to have an alpha tag, or could it help to have an alpha tag on this? I'm not sure if anyone wants to respond to that.
Yeah, I think we Cecile, sorry. Yeah, I think alpha is probably not going to help, but I do appreciate the schedule and the beta. I mean, I think that could be of help. I mean, because ultimately we have to ship this into our mainline code base, so I don't think we would want to ship an alpha, and I'm not sure on the beta, but yeah. Thanks. Cecile, go ahead.
Yeah, just gonna plus one what David said. We're already able to test right now with the nightly build, so it's not like we're blocked on testing. So alpha would just allow us to test a more stable build, but we're not gonna merge alpha. So it wouldn't necessarily help. But yeah. that's a good thought.
Cool. Thank you for the extra context there. All right, this is the last agenda item on the regular agenda. Does anybody have any final comments before we move on then? All right, I'm not seeing any hands going up. So let's move on to the provider updates. Christian, Cap V, please.
Yep, short heads up. We released v1.8.2, which keeps up with KP v1.5.2 and has some bug fixes in it. That's it.
Cool, thank you. Do we have anyone to speak on the Cap Z update?
Sure, I thought I was going to have to leave early, but there's nothing really to add, just some bug fixes that we got out on Monday.
Awesome, thank you, Matt. No updates from any feature groups, so it looks like we've reached the end of our meeting in not record time, but in historically early fashion. So unless anyone has any ad hoc topics they'd like to bring up, we will end the meeting and take a little more than 40 minutes of our day back here. So going in 3, 2, 1. All right. Thanks for coming out, everyone, and have a good weekend, and we'll see you all next week.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.